Welcome to the School of Wordcraft and Worldmancy. This is Feedback Frenzy.
Hello, I'm WriterGreg, and welcome to the School of Worldcraft and Worldmancy. It is time for some fiction feedback, and today we are going to be critiquing some actual prose. Thank you so much to Moonflower for sending this and submitting this. If you would like to have your content critiqued as well, please visit wgc.bz/submit, and your content can be featured on a future episode of the Feedback Frenzy. All right, so here, this is going to be called the Eye of Eden. I have backup of this document, so you don't have to make a copy. Okay. So, all right, let's see. You said it was about 800 words, and that this was a first draft. So this is going to be interesting. I think I'm going to read through it. Maybe let's see how. I'll try to read through it directly first, and then we can go back again, because I do think it's important to do that. Okay. Lilibet dreaded her. I'll zoom in since we're going to be. All right, there we go. Lilibet dreaded her yearly exam with a passion. No amount of studying had assuaged the fears gripping her to her core, and the calming techniques at the back of the study pamphlet had proven useless. The stress of it all was starting to affect her sleep, too. The terror that consistently peppered her dreams at night had only grown into an unimaginable tangle of anxiety and restlessness. She had just woken in a cold sweat from yet another of the bad dreams when the faint clattering of ceramic dishware made its way to her bedroom. The back-popping stretch didn't help wake her as she clambered out of bed, dressed, and shuffled down the hallway. Her feet stuck to the floor with the muggy morning as she made her way to the kitchen. "Lily, are you all right?" her Zaza, Bailey, asked at the sight of her morning stupor. Although grogginess was certainly not uncommon in the slightest for Lilibet at such an early hour, it was hardly 6 in the morning, the slight swaying she knew was happening but couldn't really stop was not. "I'll be fine," she muttered, as she sauntered up to the cabinet that contained the beans that would soon become the beverage to awaken her, the glorious coffee. Zaza gave Lilibet an odd look, full of concern and disbelief, as she squinted at the package. Ripping open the bright red paper bag, she dumped the contents unceremoniously into the coffee machine's input canister and placed a mug underneath the drip spout. She stood there for a long minute before Zaza leaned over from her cure spot and jabbed at the power button. Zaza's hand went to Lilibet's forehead, then to the back of her neck. You don't really have a fever, but you should check anyway. This is unlike you," Zaza worried. Lilibet waved the concern off. "It's exam day. Everyone knows that you gotta do well on the last exam. I'm just stressed, is all." "And?" Zaza enunciated carefully, the final click sound clicking off her tongue. "Oh, that's a pronoun." Okay, did I get that right, Moonflower? Off her tongue. That's a okay. The nightmares had gotten worse. Lilibet stayed silent for a long moment. Kerr, Key, and Kim are all pronouns. Like her. Kerr, Key, and Kim. Okay. Like Kerr, like her. Kim, like them. What is Key? Her, because her own, Kerr own. Okay, Key. like he. Oh, okay, so these are not, okay, so her, he, him, or he, her, he, them, Ker, Ki, Kim. Okay, so it's not like all three of them can apply to the same individual, or she, her, hers, Ker, Ki, Ker, Kim. They're they neo pronouns. Showing my ignorance. What's a neo pronoun? Um, I'll just keep reading as you type that in. Um, she knew how. Okay, Lilibet stayed quiet for a long moment, eyes still fixated on the now actually on coffee maker. It's a pronoun that doesn't fit the binary. Oh, okay. She knew her Zaza. She knew how Key lost sleep of her own whenever Lilibet's nightmares had got bad again. They plagued her. I think that needs to be changed. Her. They plagued Kerr since she was a baby. Medications didn't help. Stories proved useless. Nothing worked. Lilibet shrugged the foul mood off as best Key could. Worries and stress won't pass the test, Keith thought with an edge of humor. Aster should be here soon, Zaza said, lips still curled in a frown. You'd better eat. Aster, Lilibet's best friend, would come over around 8 in the morning every day to make sure Lilibet was on time for Kerr class. Lilibet, what this set of pronouns does not give away the gender of the user. It's far future sci-fi story, and Bailey is genetically modified human who effectively is not a human. Oh, okay. So my replace Lilibet's pronouns are she, her, hers. Okay. Uh. Okay. All right. So sorry. I made incorrect assumptions, for which I apologize. The Yeah, Lilibet is a human woman. Okay. I'm sure there was where Zaza had pointed 6:23. It's only 6:30. Why would he be on his way? Lilibet asked as Zaza returned to Kerr's spot at the cooktop. Lilibet was tempted to ask if she could help, but she knew better than to interrupt Zaza's cooking. He loved to cook. It was Kerr's way of calming herself, too. So instead, Lilibet focused on eating the egg toast Zaza had made. Lily, you be nice to Aster today, you hear? Zaza's voice was sickly sweet and hiding a dark truth. A dark, gaping pit formed in Lilibet's stomach, right next to the tightly wound ball of stress. Something must have happened. Lilibet scanned every memory she had of anything that Aster could have said or done to indicate something out of the ordinary. The beeping of the coffee machine made Lilibet jump. She went to her she went to take her piping hot mug from the machine with shaking hands, but Zaza grabbed it before she was able to. You'll spill it at this rate. Hazelnut creamer and a teaspoon of sugar, right? He asked. Sweetness replaced by worry. Yeah. Lilibet, Lilibet glanced at the stove where Key was just cooking. From the looks of it, Key finished up just seconds ago. The empty flat pan was still on the heated surface, and a steaming pile of egg toast was placed on the counter nearby. Now eat your breakfast and get ready. Aster will be here in less than 10 minutes at this point, Zaza chided. Lilibet groaned, but took her coffee from Zaza and went to eat. Sipping at the warm beverage did little to help with the atmosphere of too hot and too humid, which Lilibet was starting to be awake enough to feel. She picked at her food more than ate it. Okay, good. Her insides churned and roiled as she waited for Astor's arrival. What happened? What happened? What happened? The phrase repeated in her head again and again, but she knew answers wouldn't come quite yet. She'd have to be patient. Ugh. It's very hard mixing familiarity with otherness to give a sense of the future. Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to say, but I So let's take a look at this document as it is without any of the outside information. I'm grateful for the outside information. I am still new to neopronouns and the and other preferred pronouns, trying to make sure that I pronounce them correctly. So I'm a little new at that. Um, but let's talk about the arc of this story. Okay, so we have Lilibet and Zizi Bailey, called Zaza, though most of it, because Key is Lilibet's adoptive parent, is effectively a very human-looking alien. Okay, so we have the Key, Kerr, Kim, and Kerr self is for the alien. That makes sense. Yeah, this is a really good title. If this was a short story, it doesn't make sense, but this feels like it's a very good a good thing. The So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the structure. We have the person. We have Lilibet waking up, wanting coffee. We have Bailey, or Zaza, who is trying to help her out, concerned about for her well-being. So let's talk about it's the first book of a 5-book series. This is about 1/8 of chapter 1. Okay, so this is your introduction. Excellent. So we have them. So Lilibet's arc: bed to kit, coffee pot to table. Okay, so that's a good series that we have there. Does she have a goal? Yes, she needs to wake up. Does she have conflict? Yeah, she's having trouble with the coffee maker on the micro scale, and on the macro scale, she has all of the tests. Is there a disaster? Yes. And I'm referring to the motivational reaction units. No, that's not the MRUs. This is the scene sequel pattern. Okay, so she has a goal to pass the tests macroly on the macro scale, the large scale, but she also says, I need coffee. That's the micro scale. Both of those are introduced really well. I like this first sentence that you have here. Lilibet dreaded her yearly exams with a passion. Why do I like this first sentence? It is very clear who this story is about, what conflict she has about it. And we know yearly exams, I think it's an accepted thing that yearly exams are scary. It's not a weekly exam, it's not a pop quiz or anything like that. But the fact that you modified exam with the word yearly, I think really conveys effectively, with very few words, the importance of what's happening to her. Okay, and we also know so much about Lilibet even from that. Her, okay, it's a female. Yearly exams. She's a student of some age, and we know an emotion. She feels the emotion of dread, and and with passion. She's passionately dreadful. Uh, I would um, it could be said that hate something with I hate it with passion, or with a passion, or with a burning passion. That could go into slightly cliche, but I'm glad you didn't say with a burning passion. Okay. Uh, there may be something better than passion at the end of the first sentence, but I can't think of one. Something better. Um, Lilibet dreaded her yearly exams. Because, yeah, dread is a passion, dread is an emotion. Does with a passion add any new information, or new or different information than the verb dreaded? I will say that a lot of this is not staying in the second draft. I already know that. This is mostly me getting a feel for the characters, to be honest. Yeah, that's excellent. I have not solidified Bailey's voice yet, as you can probably tell. Yeah. Um, okay. So, okay. No amount of studying had assuaged her fears, the fears gripping her to her core. Okay. Well, I don't want to get too, because this is a first draft, I don't really want to get too much into line edits. I just wanted to emphasize why I thought this first sentence works, and what it could be made. I think it could be made a little bit more punchy and powerful without the clause with a passion, because we know she's dreading it. Okay. Um, okay. No amount of studying. Okay. So this second sentence, no amount of studying had assuaged the fears gripping her to her core, and the calming techniques at the back of the study pamphlet had proven useless. Okay, I can do any edits I want. Okay. Um, so let's talk about this. This is an example here of show versus telling. No amount of studying had assuaged the fear that grips her core, and the calming techniques on the back of the study pamphlet had proven useless. Me, I like one idea per sentence. I would I would possibly split this into two sentences, but usually when tell is more efficient than showing. So showing will add a lot of length to this. Now, how how could we change this and maybe paint a better picture of where she is? No amount of studying had assuaged the fears gripping at her core. Well, all right. How do we convey that same information in a more showing fashion? Well, we know. Well, we don't know. We don't know where she is in this entire first paragraph. We don't know where she is, or her conditions, or anything. There's no picture being painted. If you changed it to something like the pile, the tall pile of books on her bedstand, nightstand, the tall pile of books, the or the stack of books piled on her nightstand caused her gut to tighten, or something like that. Um, Gripped her to the core. What's her core? Let's talk about it. She felt okay, like the just looking at the stack of textbooks on the nightstand made her feel queasy, or something like that. And then you could say the this this the next to it, the study pamphlet with its calming techniques failed. Okay, so we're not just referring to these objects that she's using. Well, yeah, okay, or the concept of studying. We're turning those concepts into tangible physical items that she can react to. It's the motivation reaction unit in work, where you have a motivation, you see something outside the body, and then the person reacts to it. Okay, so what the motivation is, she sees a pile of books. How does she react? Fear grips her core. Okay, well, then she has another motivation. What is it? She sees the pamphlet of failed calming techniques. Okay, how does she react to that? She just, she tries rubbing her neck in an effort to simulate that. Okay, so it's just, and this a lot, and going through this with a heavy emphasis on the motivation reaction unit and making sure the show don't tell, all of that, I think would work really well. Okay. uh, my first my first writing conference I went to back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. uh, I They told me, a panelist, I asked the question of the panelist, is it bad to start a story with the person waking up? Yeah, it's kind of cliche. They Oh, no, 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 this is fine, Moonflower. Yeah, you go ahead and edit. This is cool. Um, starting starting a story with the person waking up, I th- I've been told is cliche and should probably be avoided. However, you can still have a person wake up without them getting out of bed. She had just woken from a cold sweat from another of the bad dreams when the faint clattering of ceramic dishware made its way to her bedroom. Okay, so how could we have her being asleep without and waking up and setting the stage for a morning without it being the getting out of bed in the morning? Well, she fell asleep at her desk. Her nightmare happened when, I mean, she literally was has been studying so hard that she fell asleep at a desk, at her desk. And that way, instead of being in a bed waking up, she is literally face down, drool. I mean, she has to clean the drool off of the uh, pamphlet that has the calming techniques. You don't have to be in bed to be asleep and have nightmares, I guess is what I'm saying. Is because I understand the nightmares are important, the being in the morning is important to the scene, but she doesn't have to be, crawling out of bed. Um, she could be passed out on her desk, nod slowly, having ideas. Right. And see, if she fell asleep studying last night, it means it demonstrates, yeah, she's super serious about it. She's super stressed about it. She never went to bed the night before. She's so tired, she passed out and slept hunched forward on a desk, which means her swaying, her aches, her body pains would be more believable because she did not sleep in a bed but hunched over on a desk. Okay, so we're able to keep the same idea, but we're able to uh, present it in a slightly less cliche way. Slightly less cliche way, and still be able to keep the important elements. So yeah, um, I'll just um, So what else can we do? Let's see. How long have we been going? 35. Okay, 25 minutes. Okay. So that is a little bit work on the opening paragraph, the opening, the setting, the scene. Her failing to run the coffee machine, I think, is funny. She's still zoned out. If she fell asleep at her desk, that would work really well. Her sway in her steps because she's sore. Totally could see like her foot falling asleep, and so she has to limp along a little with that. I like the motherly that Zaza has. Um, duh, 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 duh. The conversation between the two, I think, was good. I would want to have a little bit more understanding of what's in the kitchen. Uh, because I understand they're in a kitchen, but if this is the far-flung future, I really don't have any idea of that. I don't know if it's sunny outside. I don't know if they're in a space station. I don't know if it's is it a field of stars outside? Is it a city? Is it a country? Is it a campus? Uh, Obviously, they have eggs and they have bread. Is egg toast what Americans would call French toast? Dipped in egg and fried on both sides. Um, yes, okay. That took me a couple times reading it to say, "Oh, egg toast, that's French toast," but that's just me. I wouldn't call it French toast because there's probably not France in this world. um, I presume she's older because she's drinking coffee and yeah. Okay, down here at the end, when we're talking about the Aster. Okay, you be nice to Aster, you hear. Hiding a dark truth. Okay, see, that was an interesting sentence there. She was hiding a dark truth. Yeah, a dark, gaping pit formed in Lilibet's stomach right next to the tightly wound ball of stress. Yeah, I like that. Something must have happened. Could have sent something out of the. See, I don't know. I don't know much about Aster, and I guess I'm a little confused. France was quite literally destroyed 2,000 years ago. um, Interesting. I don't know why I'm sticking on this thing. The sickly sweet and hiding a dark truth. This paragraph here is the hiding a dark truth feels like this is Lilibet projecting on Zaza. Because objectively, in a motivation reaction unit, objectively, you could say that Zaza's voice was sickly sweet. But the hiding a dark truth, that is more of a reaction and an interpretation of the sweet voice that Zaza was presenting. Who Um, it it I understand Lilibet is the POV character. It's third person, but it's limited to Lilibet's thought. Yes, limited third person. That's my preferred tense, and I do like that. And see, maybe that's why I'm having a hard time here. Is that how does Lilibet know that Zaza's voice is hiding a dark truth? Because is Zaza hiding the truth, or is Lilibet perceiving, interpreting her voice, or because the because if you just the hiding a dark truth, if you just got rid of that, okay, if you got rid of that and just said, let me change this. Sorry, this is not good with my voice already giving out. If I took this and deleted that, Lily, you be nice to Aster today, you hear? Zaza's voice was sickly sweet. A dark, gaping pit formed in Lilibet's stomach. See, that way, by getting rid of that dark truth, we're not a little bit is not seeing what's in Zaza's head, but here a dark gaping pit formed in Lilibet's stomach. See, that's a reaction. That's the visceral reaction. Now that would be that. Oh, why does she have that reaction at the suggestion that she be nice to Aster? That asks the question. So yeah, that I guess that was it. It was breaking the limited point of view. That took way too long to explain, but I'm glad we got there at the end. Editing takes way too long, but I'm glad we get to it at the end. All right. So then we can go in here. You'll spill it at this rate: hazelnut creamer and a teaspoon of sugar, right? Key asked, sweetness replaced by worry. Okay, I would keep that there, but I would again change it. How do we know the intent of ZZ's thoughts that she is replacing her sweetness by worry? We need to then move that to a new paragraph, or say, like, Lilibet heard the worry creep through Zaza's voice, or something like that. Again, oh, no. You do not have to talk to me. This is just really good. And this is why we make these available as Twitch highlights and YouTube videos going forward in the future. Okay, so there's twice that we see this thing where the reader is given information about Zaza's mental state without going through the filter of Lilibet. Okay, so that's just what I'm talking about. Is we again, that's a line editing thing, but I don't have any problems. You have a goal, you have a conflict, you have a disaster. Aster being talked about by Zaza, there's your disaster. So I think you have three excellent components with this scene that you're sharing, and I think just going through it with a good motivation reaction unit and making sure the point of view meticulously go through the point of view to make sure that we're not hearing anything from Zaza's voice, I think would do really well. Again, there's the show don't tell. Again, I'd like to see a little bit more of the environment, because this is 2,000 years after France is literally destroyed. But I don't know What? Okay, I don't know where this kitchen is. Is it downstairs? I think she walked down the stairs. Okay. Oh yeah, there's this thing. Her feet stuck to the floor with the muggy morning as she made her way to the kitchen. Okay, so it's not. Yeah, it isn't downstairs. Okay. Um, how does muggy morning make your feet stick? When I was reading through this the first time, I was going, wait, did she just step in some muggy morning? Okay. Um, her feet stuck to the floor with the muggy morning. Okay. Uh, so I'm glad that we know that it's morning. I'm glad to know that it's humid, it's muggy. Oh yeah, you're from Utah. Yeah, we don't have muggy. I mean, like her bare her bare feet stuck to the floor, or her her bare feet left footprints in the moisture, the condensation already forming on the cold hard wood. Humid areas make you feel very sticky, and your skin starts to stick to anything and everything. Okay. And as a person disassociated with that, living in a desert where everything is bone dry, yeah, I didn't get that. So this is this is showing how her feet stuck to the floor. This is showing. I don't know how to describe it though. Well, yeah, I don't know either. Anyway, I think that if this was a first draft, I applaud you with how well this is structured. You have the goal conflict desired. Yeah, there's a little point of view issues. Yeah, there's a little bit of telling not showing, but I think you have a strong scene here that intrigues me to want to know more about Lilbet and Zaza. Um, I don't know. Would it be too much to say when Zaza put her hand? I mean, is Zaza is a very humanoid looking alien, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a different.
Welcome to the Sprints and Marches.
Hi, Bob. Hi, everyone. Middle of a feedback frenzy. Glad to have you here. Is there something that you could subtly slip in to let people know that Zaza is a alien? As humanoid as they may be, she placed her three-fingered hand, or uh, her body temperature, her cold. Is she cold-blooded? Is she warm-blooded? Does she may be very human-looking, but is there feet? When she puts her hand on her head, are there pads on the hands? Or is there? Who knows? Who knows? I just would like to have a little bit more information, understanding, because using the neo pronouns, the key, cur, and cur self, um, didn't speak alien to me. I just assumed that they were just had different preferred pronouns. So having something to differentiate, to know that that the human female was adopted by a non-binary alien. Uh, I don't know how you'd put that in there, but it's a good opportunity when they're physically touching, when she's holding the coffee, when she's, flipping the egg toast. You could describe stuff like that. It wasn't supposed to speak alien. Bailey might be an alien. but I haven't decided that yet. Okay. Then because right now she's reading human. So if you want to change that, I think that would be it. Okay, because I'm not reading adoptive here. I'm just seeing a non-binary mother figure worrying about Kerr's kid. Okay? So, anyway. I hope that's helpful. I look forward to reading more about this. I think that you set up the story well, and I'd like to know why Aster caused a pit of despair in her gaping pit in her stomach. So yeah. So right now Bailey has small antlers. That's all I've decided so far. Well, if the house is built for humans and Key is in there, you could have Kerr's antlers like smacking the lights or getting tangled in curtains or stuff like that. I think that would be funny. Anyway, thank you so much, Moonflower Writer, for submitting this for the Feedback Frenzy. Really appreciate it. I hope you all have a great day, and if you would like to have your content, either fiction or world building, critiqued in a future Feedback Frenzy, please visit wgc.bz/submit, where you can have your content added to the queue for the next Feedback Frenzy. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and until next time, keep on writing.
Thanks for watching this Feedback Frenzy. Be sure to show your support by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell. WriterGreg offers coaching sessions to help bring your world to life, create compelling stories, and accomplish your creative goals. Please visit wgc.bz/coaching for more details.